Hello guys, this is Shaky Beaves and welcome to episode 13 of my road to a Katana Bleed Build in Dark Souls 3. So this week I actually wanted to clarify something I've discussed a few times about what bosses will be susceptible to my bleed build. I've done some further research on this and my go-to website, my go-to resource is always Fextra Life. So if you haven't used Fextra Life, I'd be very surprised if you haven't as a Souls player and fan. It's a fantastic resource for everything Soulsborne Sekiro, so yeah, highly recommended. So doing some more research on where my bleed build might come in as hugely powerful against certain bosses in this game, and actually a slight misconception I had on Dancer of the Boreal Valley, he does have bleed resistant, so whilst I will be able to do some bleed damage, potentially, he's going to be resistant, but some fantastic news for me in terms of 4 bosses I'd like to mention that have 0 bleed resistance. So we're going to see the build really come to fruition against those 4 bosses, and actually arguably the 4 bosses I'm going to mention for me are the best in the game, or some of the best in the game, certainly some of the most challenging. So these 4 bosses do not have bleed resistance. Aldridge the Devourer, Nameless King second phase. So the Nameless King is a notorious boss, as we all know, is a boss that a lot of people feel is, you know, one of the toughest in the game. The second phase, where he's off the back of the Drake and just a humanoid enemy, he has no bleed resistance, so it's going to be an incredible experience to really try and impact him with some bleed damage. It's going to be fantastic. And then obviously Lothric Prince is another one, so again a very challenging boss fight in this game, has no bleed resistance. I'm unsure whether that applies to both or one of them, but either way that should prove very interesting. And would you believe it, the final boss in the game, Solar Cinder, has no bleed resistance. So again, by that stage, you know, you could argue my build is at the meta stages, it's the best it can possibly be. And we're going to see full bleed damage against the final boss. How fantastic is that? So looking forward to that later on in this series. So just talk briefly about this episode. I hate catacombs of Carthus, I really do. It's not one of my favourite levels at all. I was actually dreading this section, to be honest. I just found it quite a grind in previous playthroughs. So sorry to be negative, but not, you know, this area and Smouldering Lake are not areas I'm a huge fan of, to be honest. So I didn't boss rush as such. I tried to pick up as many key items as I could, but I wanted to get out of here and get on to some of the more interesting stuff, like those bosses we just mentioned. And you know, again, High Lord Wolnir, which we do defeat in this episode, so watch out for that towards the end. So we have the main boss fight for the area then. Again, it's not a boss fight I'm particularly favourable about. It's okay, it's, you know, it's great from a visual and design perspective, but you know, not that fun. So for now, what my plan is, picked up all the key items in Catacombs of Carthus. I'm actually going to skip Smouldering Lake for now. Again, it's an area I don't have fantastic memories of. Arguably might be a mistake, because you've got Estus shards there, you've got Undead Bone Shard, but actually look, let's see how it goes, and if it proves that actually that was a mistake later down the line, e.g. you know, when we're fighting Nameless King, we could really have done with those extra Estus flasks, then by all means I'll backtrack, and at that point, you know, I'll be higher level and Smouldering Lake will be a hell of a lot easier by that stage. So that's my plan, so don't sweat it if you see that I've missed Smouldering Lake. Yeah, this episode I also identified that I had some serious build weaknesses, as I suspected I might, in health and in endurance, so I've had to plough some points into there, and I'll continue to measure that. I just noticed these guys were doing some big damage on me down in Catacombs, yeah, and I felt quite weak, so I'm going to have to stay focused on my health and endurance for a bit. Particularly, you know, even stamina management against the Abyss Watchers and High Lord of Wolnir even was proving difficult. I was running out of gas in the tank quite quickly, and whilst you can manage your stamina, I get that, I also want to be able to inflict a good amount of damage in the fight and reduce the time that I'm at risk of death. So yeah, definitely ploughed some points into there. Okay guys, that's it for my commentary. Hope you guys enjoy. We finish off just at the edges of Erythrial Boreal Valley, and I can't wait for that section. A great boss there and a great section altogether. So thanks for watching guys, seriously thank you for the support on this series, and take care, all the best.